Hey guys, and welcome to the Artflow channel. My name is Ross and this is third part within our freelance course about Adobe Photoshop. In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to work with basic tools in Photoshop, how to upload photos, how to edit them, and also how to navigate through this software. So without further ado, let's get started. And don't forget about subscribe button so you don't ever miss new content on this channel. As you remember in our previous videos, I was explaining to you how to set up this document, how to make sure that we have the same settings, and now finally I can teach you how to work with photos in Photoshop. And in order to do that, you need to have some photos uploaded into Photoshop. And we have a couple of ways to do that. And the most efficient one is to have your photo uploaded to your Finder and then simply drag and drop photo from your Finder into Photoshop. Here's a trick. You need to drag and drop this photo right into your artboard, like so. Why I'm saying that this is important, because if you'll do that in the way like a lot of newcomers to Photoshop trying to do that, you'll have a lot of problems. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to move this photo to Photoshop icon, then they're waiting a ton of time, then they're trying to move it here, and then they're releasing it. It's just gonna take a ton of your time. Don't ever waste it. So simply open Finder and drag and drop here. The second issue might happen if you move this photo not on top of your artboard, but over here. If you see, whenever you move your photo from here to the artboard, you have this green plus icon. But if you move it outside, you will create a new document based on this image, on this size, and as a result, your previous document is gonna be still empty. So if you want to move photo from your project, from your Finder to the Photoshop, always do that like this. Now, the second step that you need to do is to rescale photo, because as you can see, aspect ratio of our document is not the same as aspect ratio of this photo. So we need to rescale it. We should extend image, we should increase image in order to fill out those side gaps. And in order to do that, we have two different ways based on your Photoshop version. The problem is that in older versions of Photoshop, you needed to increase your photo using those corner dots, because if you're gonna increase it with the side sections, you will stretch your photo like this. So if you have older version of Photoshop, it's always a good idea to increase your photo with those corner squares. So hold left mouse button and increase it to the side, like so, here and here. That's it. Also, you can make it a bit faster in new versions, so you can just drag on the left or right side and then increase it. As you can see, I'm increasing it only to one side, to the right, then to the left, and it takes a bit of time. And if you want to save your time, you can use shortcuts. Whenever you hold the left mouse button and trying to increase your image, you can also, with the left mouse button, you can also hold Alt key or Option key on your keyboard. In that way, you will increase size of your image to both sides, to the left and to the right. It's gonna be scaling based on its center. So as you can see, I'm scaling it like so. If I'm gonna release Alt on my keyboard and I'm gonna hold the left mouse button, you'll see that scaling works to the left side. And the same goes in opposite way for this one. So simply, if you want to scale it based on center in all directions, left mouse button hold, then hold Alt on your keyboard, increase it, then once you're ready, release left mouse button and only then release Alt, because otherwise you'll just ruin everything. The second thing you need to be aware of is proportions. if you try to scale your image using those horizontal squares, and as a result you can see that the image is like stretching, it's because you need to hold Shift in your exact version of Photoshop. So to make it simple, how does it works? In new versions of Photoshop, when you try to scale your image, just proportionally scale it from one size to another size, you don't need to do anything, just hold left mouse button and that's it. If you have older versions of Photoshop, this will lead you to stretched image. So to fix this one, in older versions of Photoshop, you need to hold left mouse button and you need to hold Shift on a keyboard along with left mouse button. Then you can scale it without problems. I know that this is quite complicated. I just want to place an image and scale it, that's it, but that's how Photoshop works. If you have old version, it's gonna work like weirdy. If you have new version, it's gonna be way easier for you, so it's always better to keep your Photoshop updated. Now, whenever you're satisfied with your size of the image, you need to press Enter on your keyboard or this arrow key. In that way, you'll fully place image into the Photoshop. Why it's necessary? Because until you place your image, you cannot do anything about it. You cannot cut some objects from it, you cannot do anything. It's just gonna be a crossed image and that's it. So you need to press Enter. Now, you might have a question, how to zoom in and zoom out from photos in Photoshop? That's quite easy to do. You can see some hotkeys on the left side. To zoom in and zoom out in Photoshop, you need to hold Alt on your keyboard or Option, and then scroll with your middle wheel, that's it. Scroll in, scroll out while you're holding Alt, and that's it. Now you can zoom to the night, zoom to the fireplace, that's it. Now, let's assume that I zoomed into the exact location that I would like to have over here, but I want to move away from the right to the left. I would like to use panorama movement. In order to do that, you need to press and hold your spacebar on the keyboard. Then you'll see that your icon changed to the grab icon. Now, left mouse button is going to allow you to move your image. That's it. So again, Alt and scroll, zoom in, zoom out, spacebar and left mouse button allows you to use panorama movement. That's it. Now, sometimes you might zoom in too far and you would like to see the entire image without zooming out for a long time, trying to reframe it, and you want to see the entire image from this spot to this spot. In that way, you can use hotkey combination, which is Command 0 or Control 0 on a keyboard. That is going to allow you to fit your image into the frame of Photoshop so you can see everything. Second combination that you need to be aware of is Control 1 or Command 1. What it actually does, it allows you to see your image in 100% zoom. And this might be very important because sometimes when you have your image like this, 142% of scale, you might see some artifacts and some issues with your image just because pixels, they are the same size all the time and they cannot fit in your screen resolution. So if you want to see the exact location of the exact pixels, if you want to see the clearest possible image on your screen, you need to check your image in 100% zoom. So press Control 1 or Command 1 and you'll see this image as sharp, as crisp as possible with the pixels located in the same sizes, in the same spots. And you will have a question. If you have, for example, 2K monitor or a Full HD monitor, when you press Command 1 or Control 1, you will see this image filling out your screen entirely. But in my situation, it's like that. Why? The answer is simple, because I have 4K monitor, I have more pixels, and Full HD resolution, which is 1920 by 1080p, fits over here just exactly like so. But if I'm gonna create a new document and this document is gonna be 4K, which is this resolution, and then I'm gonna press Command 1. You'll see that here 100% looks like this, while here my Full HD document looks like this. So that's the answer to your question. Now, you might have some problems with going back with your actions. For example, you moved your image, or you erased some part of your image, or you did anything that you don't want to do and you want to go back. How to go back in Photoshop? Simple as any other software. Press Command Z or Control Z. Whenever I'm saying Command Z, it's Control Z for Windows. So Command Z, go back, and now you're going back. If you want to go forward, you need to press Command Shift Z. In that way, you can go forward. You can see shortcuts here. This weird icon is Control. It's always Control on Windows. Now, going back and forward, now you understand how it works. You have 50 steps backwards and 50 steps forwards. Now let's play with this image a little bit, and let's add something interesting so we can have a better understanding how Photoshop works and how you can combine a couple of images together. However, in the next video, I'm gonna explain to you how to work with selection tools, how to work with masks, how to work with complicated layer styles. For now, we will keep it very simple because we need to go step by step, otherwise you'll be overwhelmed with a lot of information. So we will go slowly, but you will never face an issue like that you don't know what to do next. I'll try to do my best so you can have all the information that you need, but it's gonna take some time. So what we're gonna do here is probably, let's add some abstract texture here. And I found some weird image. I'm not sure if it's gonna work just fine for our situation, but just let's try. I found it on unsplash.com. This is a website with a lot of free images and paid images with a good quality. You can also use Pexels or Google, doesn't matter. Now, if you want to paste this image into Photoshop, you need to open this image, plus icon, so you can see it in full scale. Now, right mouse button, copy image, go to Photoshop, and now you need to paste this image right in Photoshop. You need to press Command V or Control V. In that way, you can paste this image. Now, right click on the file name, and now you can switch this image to convert to smart object. Why you need to do that? Because if you will not switch your image to smart object, you'll face an issue with the losing quality. Let me explain it to you in a better way. So now, as you can see, we have quite a good quality, but the image is too big, so we need to decrease size of this image. Let's do that. I'll explain to you later how to go to this transformation state. So I decrease size of this image. Now I'm gonna increase it back to the previous size, like so. As you can see, quality dropped off significantly, and that's the problem with the basic raster images. If you want to keep details of your image after a couple of transformations, you need to turn this image into a smart object. Right click, smart object. Smart object is gonna create a separate invisible for you document in Photoshop with the original of your photo. And then this separate document is going to be linked into your main document, so you can have a perfectly crisp image every single time. And whenever you increase or decrease size of the image, it's going to be the same. Please make sure that you understand what I'm saying. It's not gonna work like upscaler. It's gonna lose quality if you exceed those basic sizes. But at least whenever you rescale your image over and over again, it's not gonna lose quality and it's not gonna drop off. It's not gonna be better than it was before, but it's just not gonna be worse. Now, if you want to enter this transformation stage in Photoshop, this transformation mode, you need to press Ctrl T or Command T on your Mac. Press, now you can see the same transformation window. You can rescale your image, place it whenever you want. And if you want to rotate this image, you can do so. Simply move your mouse outside of this bounding box. And now, as you can see, I have this rotation icon. I can rotate my image. If you want to keep constraints to 15 degrees, you can hold shift on the keyboard, and that way you can rotate your image by 15 degrees each time, and that's it. Once you're satisfied with the result, let me make it that way. Once you're satisfied with the result, you need to press this confirm button or enter on your keyboard. Now we have two images, one on top of another, and we need to figure out how to combine them together. So I can see a part of this image, a part of that image. What do we need to do? Ideally, we need to include some selection tools, some masks, reveal some sections, hide some sections, and in that way we can combine those two images together. In the next video, I'm gonna tell you how to work with masks, how to work with selection tools, how to combine a couple of images in the most efficient way. But here, the only thing we can do right now is to play with opacity and learn a little bit about layers section. We're gonna discuss it all the time across our course because we have a lot of tools here, we have a lot of settings, but for now what you need to know is the way how this layers section panel works. Layers are just regular layers in your life, so you have a couple of pieces of paper, they stack on top of each other, and in that way everything that is below your object, your top object, is going to be hidden. The same goes here. We have top layer, which is this texture, and it's totally covering the bottom layer, which is our night. And if you want to see a night, you need to either remove some parts of this top layer, or rescale it, or remove or decrease opacity. How to work with opacity? You need to select your layer, simply click on the name of this layer, and now you can see this opacity slider. You can press with left mouse button and move opacity from 100 to 60, 40, 55, and etc. That way you can change value of it. Now I can see that, okay, it works just fine, but I would like to change position of this overlay, so I can move it here, I can move it there. That's just the way how it works. For example, it can be some smoke or some fog. And if you ever want to go back and increase opacity, simply move it to the right. You can also open this slider and move it here. Also, you can use hotkeys on a keyboard. For example, you can press and select your layer, and now on your keyboard, on your numpad, you can hit 1. It's gonna drop down opacity to 10% or to 20%, or you can type 25, for example. It's gonna make 25. If you want to have it 100, 0. If you want to have it 0, 0, 0. That's how it works. So the most efficient way is simply typing on your keyboard, for example, 5%, 0.5. Now you can move it around. That's it. Also, if you want to change position of your layers, for example, you want to have night on top of this texture for some reason, I don't know why, but you want to have it, you need to hold left mouse button and simply drag this to the top until you see this blue horizontal line. Now we can release it, and same goes backwards. Move around, that's it. For now, guys, I think that's it. You know how to place images, you know how to zoom in, zoom out, how to go back or forward with directions, you know how to open images and how to transform them. I think that's more than enough for this video. And in the next one, I'll tell you how to work with selections. And we have a lot of tools to discover. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please consider hitting the like button, subscribe to this channel, and also don't forget about ring notification bell, because in that way you'll never ever miss new content in our full channel. My name is Ross, and see you in the next one. Bye.